Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. My name is Iqbal Nasim and I'm here to answer your top questions on Salah. So let's go.
إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا.
Alright, let's go for question number 4. What can I do if the imam leading the prayer is too fast? Now, I often get this question actually from those people with whom I may have, for example, taught the prayer, we've gone through the prayer, we've thought carefully about how we can be more mindful in our prayer, and then people realize actually they need to slow down a little bit, not so much necessarily, but just take their time and be at rest in the various positions of the salah. And then they find themselves joining congregations with their new learning, with their new understanding, and they find themselves having to try to keep up with someone who's leading the prayer who's going too fast, perhaps in the masjid, perhaps in a congregation in the workplace, or perhaps even at home with one's spouse who's leading the prayer and just leading too fast. So it definitely presents a bit of a difficult situation. But one important advice is this, is that you should not hurry your words in order to try to fit them in, because you know now that the imam is going too fast. So, for example, you start the first unit of the prayer behind the imam. The imam says Allahu Akbar and starts. Perhaps it's a silent prayer, Dhuhr or Asr, for example, and before you have got to Maliki Yawmiddin, Allahu Akbar, and now you have to go into ruku'. It's quite common, okay, that this happens oftentimes, unfortunately. So you'll be in a bit of a fluster. You'll realize, okay, I can't carry on. Allahu Akbar, we follow the imam. That's an important principle of the salah in congregation, that we all move together. That discipline is there, that we move together. Now, because you've had that experience in the first unit of prayer, what you might think is in the second unit of prayer, right, now I'm ready. You know, you're like revving yourself up and you're getting ready to go, because you need to get to Walad Dalin Ameen before he's going to say Allahu Akbar. And then now what happens? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka Na'budu. You're going fast, Walad Dalin Ameen, and then maybe the imam then says Allahu Akbar, right? And you think, oh, alhamdulillah, I fit it all in. But, think about what's just happened. You've expressed yourself at such a pace that it starts to become unreasonable. We have then prioritized the pace and the quantity of the communication, if you like, than the quality of the communication. And I'm saying that no, we should not allow the pace of the imam, the unreasonable pace of the imam perhaps, to force us to quicken up our own speech behind the imam unreasonably. Now, of course, there's difference of opinions about, for example, with the Fatiha. I mean, I've been giving the example of the Fatiha. There's some difference of opinion about whether the people following the imam need to say the words of Al-Fatiha or not, for example. But we can find this situation in different parts of the prayer, right? We all agree that when we are behind the imam, we say Subhana Rabbil Azim, Subhana Rabbil A'la in our ruku' and sujood, in bowing and prostration, for example, and At-Tahiyyatu Lillah, etc., in the sitting position. And in all of these different positions, we can find that we haven't finished what we wanted to say or what needs to be said, and the imam has moved. So we need to follow the imam, but we shouldn't quicken the pace of what we say. Now, final thing to mention here is that if it is the case that we are praying in a certain place or with a certain person leading the prayer on a regular basis, and this is a regular occurrence, and we're really finding it difficult to offer a quality prayer, then two things. Number one, depending on the situation, perhaps you can try to gently advise, directly or indirectly, the imam, or just request that, please, is it possible to just slow this down a little bit? Yeah, I've actually done that myself once or twice over the years, where I've been able to do that and just suggested that maybe things need to slow down a little bit because it's just unreasonable on the congregation otherwise. If that's not possible, or if things aren't changing, then again, it's hard to give a general response to this, but depending on the situation, you might choose that actually I need to find a different congregation. Perhaps I should maybe pray separately from this particular congregation. Again, home, work, masjid, etc. If there's really no flexibility on behalf of the imam who's going too fast, you know, because the quality of the prayer is really, really important. And of course, if you are someone who leads the prayer yourself in a certain different context, please bear this in mind. Pray at a reasonable pace that allows those behind you to focus and to move between the positions of prayer in a way that is reasonable and allows you to be at rest in between the positions of prayer. That's really, really important. It's really part of the principles that allow the prayer to be accepted, to pray in a respectful manner. So I hope that's helpful, And inshallah, I hope that we can all pray together and be together in such a way that allows us to maintain a reasonable pace and high quality prayers.
إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا